Hi guys, it's Dr. Angus Pike here from What Actually Works. And I want to have a quick chat with you today about that conversation that goes inside our mind of, would one extra really matter? And for those of you that have listened to any of my work over the years, then you'll know that I'm a big fan of the 80-20 rule. And I think that whilst if we're doing the right things 80% of the time, if we're exercising great 80% of the time, if we're eating the right foods 80% of the time, then the results can be outstanding. I think 20% of fun, in fact it's not fun because exercising and eating great certainly doesn't have to not be fun, but if 20% of the time we're shifting away from that, then I think our body and our health can cope with that absolutely. The challenge comes with this though, is that when we move away from feeding our body with foods from nature, when we move away from exercising, does it really matter? And I'll give you an example. The other night, at this time of the year is such a lovely time leading into Christmas, and I got given a beautiful box of chocolates from a client of mine. And now I'm like the next person, I'm partial to a chocolate every now and then. And so sitting next to my bed that evening was this beautiful box of chocolate, and I took one and told myself that one chocolate doesn't really matter. But you can probably guess what happened next. Given that they were right next to me right there, I didn't stop at one. So it got me thinking the next day is, does one really matter? And it doesn't. But we've got to work out how do we get ourselves to stop at just that one from there too. And the challenge can be is that in most cases, one doesn't just stop at one. We buy the big block of chocolate because we tell ourselves that we're going to spread it over the entire week from there. But if you're like most people, that big chocolate gets kind of eaten, not spread over the whole week. You kind of eat it in that night or the night afterwards from there too. And, will just one drink matter when I go out to the Christmas party? And you're right, one drink certainly won't matter. And if we stop at one, and many of you will do that, but the challenge is that when we get ourselves into that habit, one becomes two, becomes four, becomes six, and then we move on from there too. And so my thoughts are probably this: when we've talked in the past about behaviour change, is that rather than thinking about behaviour change, it's easier to change our environment than it is to change our behaviour. And so had those chocolates not been sitting right next to me, then the chances are that I probably wouldn't have eaten as many as I did eat from there as well. I should have taken them and moved them into the other room from there too. But sometimes one does matter. So again, this has been Dr. Angus Pike here from What Actually Works. I look forward to seeing you all again soon.